New videos every day.
Hi, I'm Radhia and Peter. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist.
And I'm Peter McCarthy. I'm a certified traditional naturopath.
And this is Wake Up America.
You know, it's a little known fact that even though we live in a country that portrays itself as the last bastion of freedom, our rights on many fronts are threatened almost constantly. And Radhia, why don't you share a little bit about some people who are making a huge difference in protecting those rights?
Well, thank you, Peter. What I really want to say in this episode, and I really want to talk about those folks, but I really want to preface this. You know, in Wake Up America, we're talking about very weighty issues. And when Peter and I decided to do this program, we said, okay, we're going to take off the gloves. We're really going to put out there the truth behind what's going on in our healthcare system. This is not to be mistaken for we're just bashing the government and bashing these organizations and bashing that. That's not what it's all about. We're really here to provide truth to you. And I want to share with you, because I had somebody say to me the other day, my hairdresser actually, he was sort of listening to what we were doing and he was all, the government's corrupt and it's just all paid by, special interest and this and that. And basically, I wanted to say to him, that's not exactly true. However, that's how it looks like on the surface. It's really important to realize, and I've said this a million times, the system isn't broken. It's just rarely used. So this is how the system works. And whether you're in the state of Texas or whether you're in any other state, it really doesn't matter. This is how the system was designed. It's a complex system of rulemaking and lawmaking. I don't think, honestly, spending over 15 years working in various different areas of legislature, I don't really think that I've ever found anyone truly in legislature that was some sort of snidely whiplash, heinous criminal who had some seditious plot against, the American consumer or public. It really doesn't work that way. And it's important for you to start really seeing that you do matter. You do make a difference. And the important thing is to realize when people say, well, these government representatives, they're paid, a lot of money to do the bidding of big corporation. That isn't actually how it goes. Here in the state of Texas, just for you to know, session only comes every 2 years. And when it does, the House of Representatives or the representatives that represent you, the citizens, believe it or not, they get paid $600 a month. And during session, there's 6 months. It goes from January to June. And in that period of time, over 6,000 bills are presented to these individuals. They are, them and their staff have to read these bills, they have to listen, and they have to vote on them. So that's about 1,000 bills a month. These folks work extremely hard. They're people like you and I. Actually, it doesn't matter what side of the party they're on, whether they're Republicans or whether they're Democrats. They basically are there just like you and I. They have other businesses that they do. They have families just like you and I, and they have ideas and beliefs. And one of the reasons why they may be swayed in one direction or another is because big corporations, they'll pay lobbyists. Now, an actual fee for a lobbyist is generally almost between $150,000 and $200,000 or $250,000 a year per client. So these are generally lawyers who are very good at debating and very good at taking a cause, whatever that cause is, and taking it in and explaining from their point of view why this would be a good bill to enact. The problem is, and I remember somebody saying, these representatives are only doing what they say. And I said, well, they're not hearing from the other side. Because generally the other side are people like you and I that don't have, we think that we don't have the power to actually speak to these representatives. And so I always coin the phrase, when you go down to the state capital, which, by the way, the architect of our capital in Texas actually measured the Washington Capitol and made it 18 inches larger, I think, in circumference. That's so typical of Texas. But when they designed this mansion of the state capitol, I refer to it as the Emerald City, right? Because it is designed, not only, it's designed to respect what is going on in that house, but it is also there to give that appearance of authority. So most folks like you and I, we go to the Emerald City and we're like, oh my God, it's just way too overwhelming and they're not going to listen to me and whatever. But that's not true, is it, Peter?
It
really
certainly
isn't
isn't.
true. So when you go to the Emerald City and you think, oh, the Wizard of Oz is there behind the great doors of the halls of justice and law, they're just actually little people like the little guy behind the screen. Most of the time, who you're going to talk to is their chief of staff. Their chief of staff are generally just got out of, most of them just got out of college. They're very young and very excited, actually, to hear what you have to say. They're not going to, in most cases, they're not going to shut you down. They're not going to do anything. They really are there to hear what the constituents have to say. I had a person say to me one day, they said, well, that's why I vote for my representative, because I vote for them to provide or to do the issues that I'm voting for. And that's not exactly how it works. You vote for the representative, but if you don't tell the representative what you specifically want, they can only do what people are coming into their office telling them to do. And basically they are doing that. They are there to hear both sides. So as you and I know, and we've said this before, Peter and I, when we started out, we were actually adversaries.
Yes, we were.
Yeah, this was a few years ago. And even in the complementary and alternative medicine, you and I always talk about, it's the biggest problem is that we get very tribal, right?
Yes, we do.
I'm a certified clinical nutritionist. You're a traditional naturopath. There's homeopaths and there's herbologists and there's acupuncturists and there's chiropractors. And everyone feels, or they're taught, well, my way or the highway. I'm the only way, right?
That's it.
You and I came to the conclusion that, well, first of all, while we do have differences in our methods, perhaps, our principles and our philosophies are very, very similar.
Yes, they
right?
are. Yes, they are.
So we came to the conclusion that not only is it important, as we realized, united we stand, divided we fall, but it's time that we put away our differences and we pick up our commonalities.
That's right.
And this is why most of the states are having so much difficulty going and getting freedom for you, the consumers, and for our patients and clients, because everybody thinks that it's their little portion of the world and that they don't have a say. So what we did in Texas is a few years ago, we formed the Texas Health Freedom Coalition, and we decided, let's put away our differences and let's unite in our commonalities. And now we represent
over 48,000 people, and our organization is recognized as the largest state-level health freedom organization in the country.
So what are we doing? Well, we literally formed one of the largest grassroots organizations in this area in the history of the United States, really.
Yes,
okay?
we did.
So what we're saying to you is that you as the public are not the little guy out there and big government is up there and it's doing its will and you have no say. That's not really true at all. I have been speaking in the House of Representatives and in Senate hearings on various issues that I believe strongly and am passionate about. And myself and a handful of colleagues, you and literally we could count them on two hands, couldn't we?
Yes, for the most part, sure. The ones that are involved day in and day out, yes.
This is a group of people that, first of all, I want to thank and I want to honor. These are the ones that I have said and Peter have said, these are the silent heroes. These are the people that you don't know about. The practitioners who are listening to this, you don't realize that 10 years ago, your practice, there are literally thousands of practitioners that would have been put out of business if it wasn't for a handful of people that had the strength and the I want to call it the cojones, to say, you know what, I'm going to take some time and I'm going to go down there and I'm going to fight for you and my fellow practitioners and my principles that I believe are worth fighting for. For those of you who are not practitioners, for those of you who are people out there seeking health care, these are the practitioners or the caretakers that basically are out there doing their work for you. And it doesn't matter what line of work or what modality they're doing it. Most of them are very, very dedicated in helping you in your health care. But there's only a handful of people right now that have gone out and gone the extra mile and faced the Emerald City and gone and found out, wow, it's not only not such a big scary thing, but it's really exciting, isn't it? It's actually one of the most exciting things I've ever done. And Peter is, as most of you know, Peter's been in the military most of his life, and he says one thing.
Basically, yeah, absolutely. You know, when you stand shoulder to shoulder with a group of people who have the same passion and dedication that you do, you really do get the feeling that there's nothing like sharing the foxhole with somebody to really make them your friend.
Nothing like that bond. I can't really tell you. You got to do it. You've got to stand there shoulder to shoulder with someone, as Peter says, that you share. And when you turn around and know that you've actually affected a bill, that you've actually killed a bill that you don't believe in, or actually got a bill passed that you do believe in, there is nothing more empowering to the little guy to have that feeling. Am I right?
Oh, you're absolutely right, Radhia. You know, and we're not saying anything that's really new here. We're maybe updating it from our particular context. But these principles have applied in this area of public life for centuries. And, you know, someone I think that I greatly respect, I know I greatly respect, I think really said it best, because make no mistake, when you get into this arena, there are going to be people who are going to take shots at you. They're going to criticize you. They may even call you names. You know, you saw a video not long ago where we talked about Dr. Rich Massey, and, you know, they publicly shamed him or tried to. But I think the person who said it best was Teddy Roosevelt. And he gave an inspiring speech at the Sorbonne in France in 1910. And I'd like to share just a part of this with you, because it really does show very clearly what it's like to be doing what we're doing, and how the people who get involved in this and become passionate with the cause really feel about it. President Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." Folks, the silent heroes are in the arena for you. Come join us.
I invite you to be a silent hero yourself. Understand that you may do this and no one may know. There may be literally hundreds of thousands of people in your state that'll never know what you did, but you'll know. So stay tuned for another episode coming up soon with, who are we doing? We're doing the author of
Galileo's Lawyer, Rick Jaffe, our great good friend.
So Stay tuned next time for Wake Up America.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psychetruth channel.